Things may have gotten out of hand. Hello friends and welcome back to you. My name is Elizabeth and we are on week 3 of my 15-week writing goal challenge. Challenging goal. So I have told myself I'm going to spend 15 weeks on Act 2 of Draft 2 of my book and I'm going to write 2 scenes per week. This is the 3rd week. The last 2 weeks I have written 4 scenes total. So far, being successful. This is the 3rd week. It is currently Saturday, February 17th. I'm running my weeks from Wednesday to Wednesday for complicated goal reasons that I don't need to explain again. But my weeks are from Wednesday to Wednesday, which means this 3rd week started on Wednesday. It is now Saturday, which means I am 4 days behind on my goal. But this tends to be how I've been doing it. You know, the past 2 weeks, I didn't start writing until like Friday at the earliest, I'm pretty sure. And I still managed to get it done. So I think I need like a few days of self-loathing before I am able to write on my goal. And you might be thinking, well, if it only takes you, in reality, 2 or 3 days once you actually start writing the 2 scenes to finish the 2 scenes, why don't you make your weekly goal 4 scenes, And, I could do that, but I have said before about how dangerous it is to start increasing your goals as soon as you start being able to hit them, because then you can just quickly burn yourself out. So, I gave myself a 15-week goal. I'm only 2 weeks successfully in. I'm in the middle of the 3rd week, have not yet started writing. I have, from tonight, it's Saturday night, until Tuesday night. Technically, Wednesday. But that's only 3 whole days for me to write the next 2 scenes of my novel. And I needed all this time before to be, dreading the writing and hating it and stressing. It's just a necessary part of my writing process currently. So I'm not going to tell myself that I'm going to increase my goal to 4 scenes per week, even though it's only been taking me, 2 or 3 days to actually write the scenes, because I need that recovery period, It's important. It's just important. So, if I get to the end of this 15-week time, and I have successfully written 2 scenes per week, and by the time I get to the end and I'm like, this is easy peasy nowadays, then my next goal, might be maybe 3 scenes per week for Act 3 or something like that. Probably not for Act 3, because Act 3 of this book is just a massive mega disaster. When I was writing the first draft, I stopped after I wrote the climax, because I didn't even write a resolution, because the book was just a disaster and I knew it was all going to need to be rewritten. So, yes, that's where we are, We're trying, we're hoping. I don't know if I'm going to write tonight, I probably should, but I don't know if I will. Maybe tomorrow, probably not tomorrow. Oh dear. Oh dear. Has it been 2 weeks? Has it been more than 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't even remember the last time I wrote or filmed. I feel like I need to put in one of those montages, like from Pride and Prejudice, where Keira Knightley sits on the swing and then spins slowly and the seasons are passing around her. That's what it's been like. Okay, so here's what happened. After whatever day it was that I last filmed, I got a headache, and I had a headache for 3 days. It was like a big face headache type thing going on. I've never had a headache that lasted that long before, and it was miserable, and I was not being productive, and it was very difficult to focus, and I was definitely not feeling creative, so I wasn't writing. And then finally, after the 3 days, the headache finally subsided. Don't know what it was, but I thought, maybe I need a break, maybe my body needs to rest. And I'm okay with that. I used to never be okay with that and never take breaks, throughout my entire life, and that led to like an almost irredeemably long burnout session that I don't want to repeat. So, 3 days of headache, and then for like the next 3 or 4 days, I was like, I am taking a break. I'm not going to think about writing. I'm not going to worry about writing. I'm just going to let myself, simmer, revel in other thoughts and activities, and come back to my writing refreshed. And those 3 or 4 days went great, and it was working. And I was actually feeling like I was starting to feel like bubbly and creative again. And I was like, it's time for me to return to my novel. And I knew that like a week had passed and I hadn't done any writing. And I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be writing 2 scenes per week. didn't get any writing done that week, but that's okay. I'm not going to compound my writing for the next week. Like the next week, I'm not going to say I need to write 4 scenes, because then it just compounds and compounds, and then you get more and more stress, and that is a surefire way to lead to burnout. So I'm not going to do that. I was just going to be like, start fresh with the new week, 2 scenes, you know, and that other week was just a break week, and that's fine. So that was my plan, but then I sat down to start writing again, and I looked at the 2 scenes I had pulled, the next 2 scenes from draft 2 and put them into the, or from draft 1 and put them into the draft 2 document, the ones that were really piecemeal, and I realized part of the reason they were so piecemeal, I mean, they were so piecemeal, it was almost like I couldn't even tell, like, what was considered a scene, or like, how many scenes there were inside those pieces, but also the order, that dang old scene order. I did not know what the next scenes should be. And then I got overwhelmed again, so I didn't write. And then I think because I got overwhelmed again, the darkness took me, and many times passed, many days, could be even weeks, I'm not even sure. I don't even know how long went by when I was not writing. But it was no longer a rejuvenating break. I wasted all of my rejuvenated energy because those days were filled with just, you know, the shame and dread of not writing. So it was a prolonged break of darkness where every day I was not getting rejuvenated on my break. I was getting more and more, you know, depleted creatively because I was just stressing all the time about how overwhelming the next few scenes were going to be and how I wasn't writing and the 2 stresses were coming together and just making it bad. Just all bad. No idea how long that took, but it was a while. And then, I think it was last Friday, perhaps. Could be wrong. I'm not sure of the days anymore. But I think last Friday, I was feeling good enough to at least open my document and not, you know, run screaming into the night when I saw all the piecemeal scenes in disarray. And I spent some time and I figured out the order for the next 4 scenes. And I took all of their many little pieces and I put them in the right order. So that was something, and that felt good because once I know the scene order, it gets much easier to get back into the story. This disorganized scene problem that I've been having in this novel has been extremely overwhelming and block creating. I have never had this scene order problem before in any of the stories I've ever written. I'm not sure why this one is so different, but every few scenes I realize the next few scenes are all completely out of order. It's a struggle. But on Friday, pretty sure, not quite sure, but pretty sure it was Friday, took the next 4 scenes. They're little tiny pieces. I mean, they're just fragments of scenes, just like the breath of scenes. Put them in order and breathed a sigh of relief. Then my family came to visit over the weekend, and then yesterday was another lost day, not sure why, and now today's Tuesday, February 27th. No idea how long it has been since I talked to you, or since I wrote anything other than just reordering. There was no writing creatively in the reordering process. There was just thinking, just reordering of pieces. So that's where we are. I haven't been making any videos at all, just had a complete creative breakdown, which, you know, happens, and I'm sorry. But I'm still hopeful for some reason that I will be able to get this writing vlog up on Thursday and have some actual writing in it. Not sure why I feel that way, because I'm not, like, all healed from my creative struggles. I might still be in the thick of them, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. For some reason, I'm hopeful that I will sit down, I will look at my newly reordered scenes, and I'll be able to just get to work. And then this writing vlog will actually have some writing in it, and I'll be able to post it on Thursday. That's 2 days from now. I feel like it could happen. I hope it does happen, because now I have said it, and if it doesn't happen, then this vlog will go up like a month from now, and you'll all be like, oh my gosh, Elizabeth, you lied. You're taking forever. I hope that doesn't happen. It could happen. But I hope not. Also, we are supposed to get big storms tonight. Thunderstorms, big rumbly ones, rolling loud thunderstorms. And I hope we do, because if we do, that will be great creative atmosphere for me to channel into my body and hopefully into my writing. I don't know if we're actually going to get them. A lot of times they predict thunderstorms will happen and then they don't happen and they just are fooling us. So hopefully these ones happen. I'm hoping, hopefully, that these ones do happen. Because as long as we don't lose power, I will be able to hopefully focus in the midst of the big storm and get all that energy. It's my dream and my goal, but because it's my dream and my goal, I feel like I want to wait to start writing until the storms come, which is a terrible plan. Right now, the sky is blue. The sky's been blue all day, so not sure about that. But it's a bad plan. It's currently my plan. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stalling because I don't really want to be writing, which I know could be true and is true. I don't know. I know I shouldn't wait for the storms to come. The storms probably won't even go. But I kind of want to wait. And then I want to tell myself I'm waiting for the storms. and then I will write, and then probably the storms will come, and then I'll never write, and then how will I be able to post this vlog on Thursday? And yet somehow I still think I'm gonna wait for the storms. Oh dear. Oh dear. So far no thunderstorm, but I have started writing a little bit. I have just finished almost the connective tissue between what I was working on last time and the new scene that's coming next. We're making progress. Alright, it's 10:43 and it's finally raining. Just a little bit, just some drizzles, but still, maybe the storm is coming. Alright, so it is now the next day. Last night we ended up having a thunderstorm that consisted of 2 thunder rumbles and about 8 minutes of rain. So, but I was able to write, or like revise, include, piece together, I would say about 75% of a scene, the next scene. So like, I got the connective tissue done, and then I got, I mean, it was gonna be a whole scene and I was gonna feel really good about it, but then I like hit sort of a snag, and then I think I like rushed to the end of the scene quicker than it really needed to be, because one of the pieces I encountered from the pieces that I had pulled over from draft 1 no longer worked in draft 2, and I wasn't sure how to fix it, and then I got stressed, and so then I just rushed to the end of the scene and declared it done, even though it's probably not really done. So I'm not going to say I completed the scene, I'm going to say it's about 75% done, because realistically the scene probably won't end there. I don't know. I am still planning on writing today and including it in this vlog and then posting this vlog tomorrow. So it will be a writing vlog. Hopefully. I mean, as long as it's not only like 5 minutes long. I don't know. I haven't looked at the footage, so I don't know. But yes. So, I mean, all in all, not terrible. It was going pretty good. Like, I wrote that connective tissue, and then I was like in the first half of the scene, and I was like, yeah, this is going good. And then I hit that point in the scene where it was like a little piece that was a major part in draft 1 that no longer works in draft 2, and I was like, oh no, I don't know how to fix it, I don't know what it should be. So then I just left it, and then I just rushed to the end of the scene. But we'll see how I feel about it today, and you know, maybe I'll just leave it like that for now, and then just add the connective tissue and branch into the next scene, because I don't have to fix everything in this draft. I know I'm calling this draft 2 because I'm cat scratching at the door. Because I'm pulling the scenes from draft 1 into this document and connecting them and making them, you know, a readable story, mildly coherent. But it's really more like a draft 1, because my first draft of this story is by far the worst first draft I've ever written in my life. It's very much a 0 draft. It's whatever is less than a 0 draft. It's bad. So, because of that, because I'm aware of that, and I keep reminding myself of that, this draft 2 really is more like a first draft. I mean, because my first draft was so bad. One of the things I realized during my break times was that I actually really loved this story. Like, when I would lay in bed at night, think about the story, like even when I wasn't writing, I like loved it. I loved like getting into the world and thinking about the story and the characters, and it was like a fun time, and that was a fun like story in my brain, and I still think that. I think part of the reason why I keep getting stuck is because I haven't been able to translate that into the actual written story yet. You know, all that good feeling of funness. But I think that just means I haven't, like, encountered the essence of the story yet that I'm trying to, like, imbue in the writing, which is fine. That is not a draft 2 activity. That's like a draft 7 activity. So I just have to keep reminding myself of that. I don't need to be finding the essence of the story yet in this draft. I wish I was, because when I just sit around thinking about the story, I love it so much. But then when I'm actually writing, I'm like, why can't I find that love and put it in the story? So it's a problem, but, you know, we're back at it, I guess. That's success. Yesterday, we were writing after a long block. Finished almost the whole scene. I mean, like, it's kind of a scene. It's not the way it's going to end up in the final draft, but, you know, it's a scene. And so today I'm hoping to probably just work on connective tissue between that flimsy ending of the scene and then the next scene. I don't think I'm going to write the whole scene, but, you know, one and a portion scenes, that's good for this vlog. Especially because it's been so heck of a long time since I was writing. So, I hope you're not disappointed in me. I promise I will try to get back on track with my 2 scenes per week, starting next week. We shall see. But this vlog is not over yet. I am going to keep writing today and then post this video tomorrow. Stick around. Alright, so I wrote notes in the margin of what that scene needs and what the next scene will need. I'm hoping the next scene won't be too hard to get into. I haven't worked on this very much today. This second half of this writing vlog is pathetic, but it's like 11:09 and I want to go to bed and it's just not working. But the next scene is much less piecemeal than the previous scene and the following scenes. So I'm actually not going to work on it because I feel like at the start of my next big writing bout, it will be easier to get into when I'm looking at several paragraphs rather than just a bunch of pieces. So that is my plan. I'm sorry for the patheticness of this writing vlog, but next time I will get to work on this scene, and hopefully next week, i.e. this week, since it's already Wednesday, I will write 2 scenes and get myself back on track. But one scene, some connective tissue, and some notes, that's not too bad after a long drought of writing. So, I'm feeling okay. But yeah. Also, I spent some more time reordering the scenes, the 4 scenes that I had reordered before. So yesterday, I wrote one of those scenes. That was the one that I got 75% done. And then the next scene is not as piecemeal as all the other scenes. And then one of the scenes I removed for later in the book. And then I'll pull another one up from draft 1 that I haven't even pulled yet to be that 4th scene. So I did do some more reordering and I feel really good. I feel like, if I wasn't going so slow and taking my time, the ordering might not be right because I would just be powering through, So breaks are important. You gotta let your brain muse around on its thoughts and, just move stuff around. And so I'm actually feeling quite good with the progress I have been making so far. Even if it's not 2 scenes a week. We'll get back to that. We will get back